So unfortunately, we started F-Body Garage halfway through building Ben's car. So we had just about finished installing the procharger, and that's when we started recording. So I don't have a ton of footage on the stuff we did prior, and there's quite a bit. So I do have some video and pictures of the stuff that we did. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that together and show you in the beginning of this video, and then conclude with the start of what we started filming for the end of the procharger. So in the beginning, he was new to building cars, and he had the Trans Am for a while, and he wasn't sure what to do to it. And so, you know, when I met him, he saw my car, and I was explaining things that I did, and he asked me if I'd help him build it. So one of the first things he wanted to do was exhaust, and what we get, the Texas Speed Y pipe. So basically, like, you know, headers and then 3-inch pipe back. I think that's when we started getting into the major stuff, the suspension, the heads and cams. So we started going over different options from UMI and from BMR on suspension, and I told him what I would get. And then, of course, you know, he just calls a BMR one day and says, I want everything that you make for this car, and just has everything sent to his house, calls me up, sends me a picture, and he's like, it's here. So he dropped off his car and dropped off all the suspension, and then we get started on it, and, you know, doing the K-member and everything, the engine's got to come out. And so while we're doing that, he says, all right, well, you know, as long as the motor's out, let's start working on that. So then we sat down and called up Texas Speed and told them what we were doing. And so we ended up getting heads and cam and, you know, the regular installation stuff, the head gaskets and seals and whatever, and started building that and, you know, just putting everything together at the same time. At the time, he wasn't really thinking about drag racing. He was more about just wanting, like, you know, the streetability of it, more of like a road race type setup. So we got Strano lowering springs and regular, you know, yellow koni adjustables. Then, like I said, everything, you know, the BMR has. Yeah, that was the start of that. And so we put all the suspension together, put the motor together, and then he drove it like that for a while. And of course, you know, once you do something like that and you start feeling a little bit more power, you want more. So after driving it for, I don't know, probably, you know, a couple months or whatever, then he started talking about the next thing. And so he wasn't totally sold yet on forced induction, or didn't want to spend, you know, 10 grand on a procharger because he had just spent a bunch of money on the motor and suspension. So I said, well, you know, I mean, you can do a little 100 shot of nitrous and, you know, get a little bit faster. It's not going to hurt anything. You know, we could play around with that for a little while until you make a decision on, you know, if you want to go more nitrous or turbo or supercharger, you know. So we did that for a little while, and then he finally pulled the trigger on a procharger and got a F1A94. He ordered it from, I think it was from Lethal Performance. I can't remember. But yeah, I mean, they sent, you know, the whole installation kit and everything, and we put that together. Right then, I think, is around the time that we started F-Body Garage. So there's not a ton of video footage on the installation of the procharger. There's tons of pictures on us putting the procharger together and the suspension and the motor and stuff like that. So, but there isn't a ton of footage until right towards the end of us installing the procharger. And then at that point, I think we were installing a transmission cooler and some other little stuff. He came and picked up the car. So that stuff, and, you know, from there forward is all on video. But yeah, so that's where it started. Okay, so we're finally starting to come to the end of building this thing. The next step is the transmission cooler and fan. I have to fix the headliner. So just little stuff. We've gotten 90% of this done now. So let's move on to the transmission cooler and fan. So with this procharger, there's not enough room to have two fans unless you do a stand-up radiator. So this one's at an angle, and the procharger is
pressing up against the shroud where the fan would be, almost. So what we're going to do is put in a transmission cooler and fan, and so in theory what that's supposed to do is, with a automatic transmission, the radiator has a transmission cooler in it. And so we're going to bypass that and run a transmission cooler on the outside to theoretically take the transmission fluid heat out of the radiator. And then we're also going to introduce a fan on the other side. So hopefully between the two, it'll help just, you know, keep the temperatures down a little bit more. This is the fan that we got, and radiator, well, cooler. Comes in this nice box. The presentation isn't bad. It actually comes bolted on there too, that's cool. One less thing to do. So there's limited space under there, so that's why, you know, the size of this is what it is. So let's get started. All right, so we got the cooler and fan all laid out, trying to figure out where we're gonna stick this thing. So if you look up here, there's like limited room. Pull this out of the way, and there looks like there's probably about 5 or 6 inches of space in there. We're gonna disconnect the fan on this side and then do a pull-through deal with the, I forget what they call them, but like the long like tie straps that come with these things. So we'll pull it through this side and bolt it on this side, and hopefully we have enough space. If not, then, you know, we'll have to stick it in the middle. All right, so we're gonna try to get a little bit more room in here. Watch out, you're probably gonna get wet. This thing's gonna wanna shoot out. Get out of there. Oh, and there's a crack on this one. Perfect, it's shooting all over me. Whoa! Okay. Awesome. Let's get this out of the way. It's not going to leak everywhere. All right, so now, let's see. We got a little bit more room, so now we need to get this shield out of the way, and then we'll have a little bit of space to work with because it is really tight in there. All right, let's bring this thing back down. Hopefully enough. No, it's not gonna. Well, okay, that's gonna be more of a pain in the ass. So this is gonna have to come off to get to this. I was hoping there'd be enough room that we could possibly, well, let me see. No, that's not gonna work. No! Well, okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to take this off. I guess we don't need this on in the way anymore. Somewhere there's a button, there you are. That out of my way. Okay. All right, let's get this out. Wow, it came out way easier than it was to put in. All right, and then there should be, there's 2 bolts holding that on. So probably where those 10s, I didn't even look. Yeah. Okay, this must have been self-tapping. No! I don't think that hit the ground. Did that spark? I could have sworn I saw like smoke there. Nah, that would be crazy. Oh my God, I hate self-tapping screws. Okay, now we can see it. Yay. All right, how does this thing go on? Does it slide out the bottom? Of course it does. That makes sense. Well, since we're
Off the top and we'll shut it down.
I'm just wondering if it will just go straight down then. Okay, yeah. Just don't want to damage the condenser. What are we hitting? Should slide right past here. This should come up so that can slide down. Of course, now there's shit in the way. Dude, what are you getting hung up on? There it is, okay. Thought I was losing my mind. All to do that. Without the procharger in the way, you just go. But there's no. It's pressed up against this fan shroud, so it's like.
Out of the bottom. Rip it out of the top.
Yeah. There's just too much stuff down there. Okay. Not using that anymore. All right. Actually, this gives a lot more room to finagle this too, so I can go down to the bottom and press that back a little bit. I should be able to release some more room. Oh, come on, man. Are you kidding me? All right, so today we're gonna finally fire this thing up. I forgot that of everything we did to get a LS1 style 3-bar map sensor, so I had to steal one off my car and order his. So I'm gonna stick this thing on so we can start it up and then we'll start tuning and everything else. Actually. Come on. There we go. Good Lord. I'm so happy that the fast intakes have the map sensor part on the front. These things so much easier. These things suck. Okay, that should work. All right, so let me get my laptop. All right, start. Let's see if there's any codes. Yeah, oh, okay, that's just the mass airflow. I forgot I gotta go in there and put that on no error. All right, so that's fine. All right, let's see if this thing will start. Probably do a smoke test just to make sure that there's no vacuum leaks anywhere. Otherwise, it runs fine. I mean, it's set up to run like really fat in the beginning, just to make sure that it runs and everything, but I'll let it sit and then we'll start it up again, let it run, and make sure everything's topped off, and I'm going to start doing some revisions. So let's just let it sit for a little bit.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Ah. Come on, man. Yeah, that's how you do that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it came out really good, man.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
I showed you the purge already, right?
I've seen it on video.
Oh, okay.
It's good enough for me.
Okay.
Wow.
You see how it's got like, every once in a while you see just like a tiny bit of like mist or smoke or whatever. Like that's what I was talking about. Like this gets like a mist of oil, and then that's where that smell will come from over time.
Yeah, it smells exactly like yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just, you know, because it has the breather on top, so it's nothing to worry about.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, that bitch was a tight fit, man.
Yeah.
It was a tight fit. But the more, I mean, if you look at it, like the more I fucked with it, I was able to actually get it away. So it's not rubbing on the procharger anymore. So we took the radiator and condenser and everything out and moved everything back and angled it, and then with the cover like pulled back on it, so it locked it into place. Yeah. So that's like as far away from it as you can go, you know.
You can't fit one bigger than that in there.
No, I mean, most people don't even do that. Most people just get like the stand-up radiator.
Yeah.
But I've yet to see somebody that does a stand-up radiator and then still has air conditioning. Because then, obviously the condenser's not going to fit, you know, because it's not made for it, and the radiator's going to be shorter.
Yeah.
So you got to get a shorter condenser, and then you got to have the lines made and stuff like that. I haven't seen anybody do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Go fast. I like it. I like it. Look at that list, man.
Yeah. No shit.
Wow.
No shit. That's not all of it. I mean, that's just where we left off.
Tune and recharge AC. Wow. Wow, man. Something else.
Yeah.
There's something else.
The happy customer.
He'll be happy once he drives it.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. That sounds like a damn monster. It does. Oh, man, look, boy, she's looking mean, boy.